But this is a story. It's really a newspaper clip that somebody showed me. This must have been 40 years ago, maybe even more. It was in the Israeli newspaper Yediot Achronot, which don't suspect me of learning. I mean, don't suspect me that I read these papers. I certainly do not. But somebody showed it to me because it's very interesting. Now you don't have to read the papers anyway. You got all this trash is on YouTube and everyone. False news and the crooked news. In any case, back to our topic. Somebody showed me an interesting thing. It was a clip that they interviewed this fellow, a Yemenite Jew, an Israeli Yemenite Jew, that he had a restaurant that they sold, a not kosher restaurant where they sold ham, pork. So they interviewed him, and he said, "Listen, I know that what I'm doing is not right, and it's not according to the Torah. But what can I do? That's my living. I have a family. I have to provide for them." And people have their own free will. They can buy. They don't want to buy. They don't have to buy, and et cetera, et cetera. He had all these excuses that he made up. And he said, "But I want to tell you a story. So I want to tell you an interesting story." And he said, one day, a Jew comes into my restaurant and he orders a sandwich, a ham sandwich, ham sandwich. So everything is like on display. They have like a counter where there's a window. Everything's on display. So he says he wants some of the ham, and he puts. So I took out the pita bread. Put the bread, and I put this meat inside of it. And I asked him what he wants me to put on it. Maybe he wants hummus, maybe he wants spicy stuff, maybe he wants sweet stuff, maybe he wants pickles, maybe he wants this. I said, what would you like me to put on it? You want me to put pickles? You want me to put the lettuce? You want me to put this? So he looks at me, this fellow looks at me, and he says, turns all red. He said, what do you think? I'm a goy? What do you think? I'm a Gentile? I'm a goy? What do you think I'm going to get? You should be ashamed of yourself. What do you think I'm a goy? And the guy started screaming and yelling at me and pounding on the table. So I said to him, listen, you better quit it because I'm going to call the police. What is your story? You know that we sell pork here. It says on the window, pork. The man said to me, pork, what do I care about pork? It's Passover. What are you giving me chametz? The pita bread that I put over is leavened bread. It's forbidden for a Jew to eat on Passover. On Passover, you're not supposed to eat any bread or bread products, only matzah. He says, it's Pesach. What are you giving me chametz for? So I looked at him and I saw that he was really serious. So I said, okay. So I went to my lunchbox and I took out two that my wife prepared for me, and I took out 2 pieces of matzah. He said, I personally don't eat anything from my own restaurant. Took out 2 pieces of matzah, and I took the meat from between the pita bread, and I put it between the 2 pieces of matzah, and he said, thank you very much, and he paid, and he ate, sat down and ate. So he said, look at what a Jew is. He says, here this person got all angry. I thought he was going to burn my place down. He was so emotional about what? About doing a sin. Doing a sin, you can't eat chametz on Pesach, but he was doing a sin by eating the pork. So one thing was a sin to eat, and the other thing, and he cared about it, and the other thing was a sin to eat, but he didn't care about it. It doesn't make any sense. If you worry about going to hell, he wouldn't eat pork. If he didn't worry about going to hell, so let him eat bread. What does he care? So he says that's a non-Jew. That's what a Jew is. It's not understandable what a Jew is. And even this person telling the story himself, he knew what he was doing was forbidden, but he made an excuse. So we see that's what the Jew is. Now ask the question, what's the truth? What's the truth? What's the truth? Did he want to eat a piece of meat? That's what he wanted. That's his true self, right? And then the Judaism, that's a thing that he got, it's a crazy idea, superstition he put in his mind. Or maybe not. Maybe his true identity is that he's a Jew. And that is desire to eat not kosher meat, that he doesn't care. That's nature. That's what nature is. But the Jewish identity is stronger than nature. It's a whole different type of nature. So what is the real one? Hasidut Chabad says the real Jew is the Jew that could not bear to go against the will of God. He couldn't. And he just translated into chametz. But to eat the pork, he liked it. He liked to eat it, right? That overpowered any sort of conscience or compunctions or whatever that he had about doing what God said. So here we have the battle right in front of us between the what's called the godly soul and the natural soul. And it's present in every Jew. But the true essence of the Jew is that said, I can't eat chametz on Passover. That's the true essence of what the Jew is. And eventually the whole world will feel that. And you can, of course, ask yourself a question, why did he care? What is this true essence of the Jew? It made no sense. It made no sense. He just knew, he felt that chametz on Passover, it's a godly thing, it's a Jewish thing. I don't care about myself. I'm not caring about going to heaven. That's Judaism. Which I have to say that now I'm telling the story, I sort of remember this myself. When I grew up, my parents, they did not bring pork into the house. I remember my father had a friend that he went and he brought a pizza or something like that had, what was it, pepperoni, sausages on it, and he wouldn't let him put it on the table. He said, you have to hold it up. So we didn't keep Shabbos, we didn't keep the holidays, we didn't keep, but that one thing of being kosher, somehow or other, it did creep in. But me, I was a young kid, I was a young guy, I wanted to have fun of this. And I remember there was once a whole sort of a thing in a class, it was maybe in the 6th grade, 7th grade, that everybody was, it was a play thing, they were fighting over a piece of gum, a stick of gum. It wasn't fighting, one person threw it to the other. Anyway, I was the one I was quicker than everybody else, and I took it and I ate it, and I put it in my mouth and I ate it. And I thought I won. And suddenly I remember, I just thought of this now. Suddenly I remembered, wow, it's Passover. I'm eating this gum that maybe it's not permissible to eat on Passover. I remember I had a bad feeling. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. On one hand, I didn't want to spit it out because I was the winner. I wanted to get pleasure out of my gum. And that's the battle which is now being fought and being, won by the Jewish soul all over the world. Jews are beginning to realize that the essence of the Jewish soul is expressed in how we use the world and how we use ourselves. Have a good day with Mashiach. Now, I hope to see you tomorrow, Friday, and we'll finish learning the Maimer Batid, the Maimer Atat Tetzaveh. Have a good day. Shalom Uvracha.